should you use baitcasters or spinning reels? So, in my opinion, it just depends on what you're fishing for or what your skill level is. So, I'm going to be getting into detail about that today. So, I'll see you guys in just a second. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is lures and lines. So, with a spinning reel, you're going to want probably more lighter line and more lighter lures so you can get a longer cast. But if you're using a micro reel, then you would want like anywhere under 10-pound line. Unless you're using braid, then you can go to like 10 and below 15, I would say. But with lures wise, if you have a more bigger reel, then you can get some Ned rigs, or if you want, you can do trick worms. And if you are micro fishing, I would get like more little micro lures, like little grubs or little crankbaits or something like that. And if you're using the bigger reels, that's more of like catfish and saltwater. So I would stay away from that if you're just starting out. But with baitcasters, they use more heavier stuff like line and lures. So if you want more heavier lures, go with a spinner bait. And they're also better with soft plastics because you can get a better like movement with it instead of a spinning rod, because when you're casting up on like banks and stuff, it's better to move with a baitcaster. So if you're looking for line, I like 15-pound mono filament with baitcasters. Or if you want braid, I would go anything above 20, but I wouldn't go anywhere below 12-pound monofilament for the baitcaster. But yeah, so that's the first thing I'm going to be talking about, lures and line. Now I'm going to move on to the second thing. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is casting. So with a spinning reel, you are able to cast faster, or not faster, but more longer distances, and you can just reel in easy. And with a baitcaster, you're able to do more precise casting, like if you're flipping or if you're just casting up on a bank, you can easily retrieve it, and it's better accuracy getting up on like banks and stuff. But if you're trying to fish out deep, or if you're wanting a longer cast, or if you're fishing on the bank, I would go spinning. But if you're fishing in like a boat, or if you're wanting to get up on to like some cover or up on the bank, then go with a baitcaster. So that is the casting part. So I'm moving on to the next one. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is the like skill level for both the reels. So if you are a beginner, this part is for you. So with a baitcaster, these are a lot more difficult to learn because there's a lot more to these than just a spinning reel. Because these things will backlash because the spool moves a lot faster than a spinning reel, and you have to time when your lure hits the water so you don't get a backlash, which are not fun if you have a really bad one. And if you're just a beginner, then it'd be a lot harder to get out if you don't know what you're doing. So there's the drag, the brakes, and the tension knob, and that just helps you cast without backlashing. If you know how to do that, that's good. And you shouldn't, if you know how to cast a baitcaster, it's a lot easier once you get the hang of it. And with a spinning reel, it's a lot easier because really all you have is the drag. That's all you have to worry about, and you don't have to worry about getting backlashed. But you will have to worry about wind knots, which are not fun also, but they're a lot harder to get than a backlash. So that is the next thing. Now move on to the other thing. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is cost. So with spinning reels, they're usually pretty cheap, and you can get a really good one for like under $100. But if you're wanting a good baitcaster, you're probably going to spend a little bit more than $100. But there are some cheaper baitcasters. You can get them from $50 and up. But a good baitcaster is probably about $100. So this one's just a ducket one I have, but it's one of the cheaper ones, I'm pretty sure. I actually didn't buy this brand new. We found it at a antique shop thing, but these are more cheaper reels. And this one right here is my Shimano Corrado This is about $270, but it is a really good reel. Once you get the hang of Baitcasters, I would recommend that one a lot. It's a really good reel. But the reason why Baitcasters are so expensive is because they usually use better materials for the like shell and the bearings and gears and all that stuff, and the gears and bearings are just a lot better other than a spinning reel, because usually they can just use plastic and it's still a really good reel. But yeah, so that was the last thing I was wanting to talk about. But overall, if you're just starting out, I would go with a spinning reel because they're cheap and really easy to use. But if you're getting good at fishing, I would learn how to use Baitcaster because it'll help you out a lot, and they're just really nice to use. So I'm gonna end the video there, and I'll see you guys in the next video.